Leaders and healers, gamers and claimers, ladies and gentlemen from around the universe, from around the globe, from around the community, welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, speaker, life coach, trainer, author, musician, singer, songwriter, and friend to you. Your host here, giving you the best of what I've learned over my past 20 years of being in this fitness and health, life coaching, spiritual journey of mine, upgrading my life and upgrading the lives of the people around me and the community around me. And this podcast is all about helping you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, widest, and highest passions possible so you can ultimately upgrade your life. That is you who I'm talking to right now, whoever you are listening to this program. So you can upgrade your life and inspire others to do the same, because that's what it's all about. It's all about growing up, showing up, learning, earning, returning, and contributing the best of you to this world as you share and you care and you live it up with power, purpose, and passion. That's what we're here to do. So thank you for joining. Unfortunately, this particular episode, we can't get on Facebook and we can't get on Instagram. So this is not live. But anyways, whatever. We're gonna release it on YouTube and release it on Facebook, and we'll continue this. I haven't been on the show for, it feels like, at least a week, and it feels like it's been an eternity because I've missed it so much, and sharing my wisdom and sharing my passion for serving others through what I've learned in books and seminars and my own experiential journey as a life coach, as a speaker, as an author. And so thank you for your patience. And if you've missed this podcast, I'm back. I'm better than ever. I feel like I'm upgrading daily, and that's what I'm here to do with you. And any type of experience that I have in my own personal journey, I immediately want to share it. Whatever insight, whatever nugget, whatever grain of wisdom that that life presents me, I do my best to extract whatever lesson and then share it with whomever is willing to listen and get benefit from it. So thank you for joining us in today's episode. Before we start, Cameron, thank you again for being on my power partner in crime on this Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast from Chatham, Ontario, and helping me with the technological side of the things and taking care of that stuff, so I can live out my passion, claim my power, and be able to serve people with greater depths. All right, how you doing, man?
Good. You are welcome. I'm happy to be a part of this. It's funny. I remember you saying this a long time ago, and it really hit home when you were talking about how we always learn and unlearn, and sort of it's almost like you learn something, but then you have to put it to the test, and that's the unlearning phase where you mess up and you trip up and things happen. And I think that's where the growth happens. Something like you said, where you do the meditations you don't want to do. Those are the best meditations you ever will end up doing. They may not feel the best, but they're very important. It just like the last rep of your biceps curls. It's always the hardest, but it's amazing. It's the best for you. So I assume that you pushing yourself to the limits, probably you learned a lot, and you may be probably stronger now than you were before.
Oh, no question. And this episode's all about doing the thing. This has been a topic of my past couple studying the power of action, not just the psychology. I'm talking about just taking action, whatever action. And I remember I came across this quote in studying it by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I've come across a lot of quotes in my study things, and I love quotes and love studying them. Khalil Gibran said it best, though. He said, quotes are meaningless unless they're embodied as habits. And I remember going, wow, it's nice to memorize quotes, but when you embody them, when you literally examine them and you study them in your meditation, go, wow, this is real for me. Not just because just because Jesus Christ or Buddha told me, but because, wow, I really get it, because at my core, has been my experience. And one of the things Ralph Waldo Emerson said was his famous quote, and I wrote this down many years ago, and I remember I wrote it on, I typed it out and I put it in laminate, and I would read it and reread it all the time, and I would hang it up, and anytime I felt like I wasn't sure what to do, I would literally read that quote, and it would just kind of trigger something in me. And I just remember just going, okay. And that I haven't remembered this quote for many, many years, only through the past couple of weeks I came across it, and it's this: do the thing. The people that do the thing, so do the thing and you will have the power. And those who do not the thing have not the power. Let me repeat that. Do the thing and you will have the power. And those who do not the thing have not the power. So whatever that thing is, and the title of this episode is Do the Thing, whatever that thing is for you, whether it's joining a gym and starting a workout plan, whether it's starting to meditate, whether it's asking for that promotion, whether it's starting to, learn a language, whether it's starting to learn a new instrument, whether it's start to heal your relationship with your father, your mother, your husband, your wife, or your children, whatever that thing is, stop hesitating. Do the thing and you will have the power. And let me tell you, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he goes on to say, once you do that thing, whatever that action is, the ability, the creativity, the faith, the courage will show up when you when you are actually in action of doing that thing. Right? It's like when you go, oh, I'm just going to work out, and you start on the treadmill, and that just, I'm going to go on the treadmill for 5 minutes. And on that 5 minutes turns into what? 30 minutes, because you're doing the thing. You gain the momentum when you do the thing. And those people that are waiting to do whatever that thing is for you, whatever that thing is, if people are waiting, you're not going to have the power because you're not doing it. You're not taking that leap of faith. You're not actually doing anything. And because you're not doing anything, the universe doesn't sort of become a servant to your will. It doesn't provide the skill, the ability, the genius, the creativity in those moments when you're not taking action. And this has been a big topic with a lot of my clients lately. I've been talking about this quote. This is like, I've expanded on this quote. So I've really encouraged a lot of my clients, just take whatever that thing is, do it. Nike has it right. Just do it. And here's the thing, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. That doesn't mean things are going to get easier right away. That doesn't mean that you do it once and you're done. You don't work out once and hope that you're going to, oh yeah, I worked out once, I'm in shape, or I meditated once, oh, I'm spiritually enlightened. Not the case. But doing that thing puts you in position where you have access to powers. And I remember people out there who have ever read the book by Franz Kafka, Metamorphosis. And I've never read it before. I've read excerpts from that book, and it's pretty powerful. And he has this sort of amazing and yet gruesome way to describe human beings when they forfeit and relinquish their human potentials and powers. And one of the metaphors and symbolisms he uses, which when I read it was like, wow, that's one way to look at life at a human when they don't take action, they don't access their abilities, and they basically vomit all over their skills and talents they've been given to live out on this planet. And he basically says, and again, I'm paraphrasing here, and he basically describes this salesman who's living this dull, vacuous life, and does the same thing every day, doesn't grow, doesn't really do anything, same routine, eats the same meals, goes back, does the same thing every single day. And he describes the story. The salesman wakes up one day, not as a human, but as a cockroach. Think about that for a moment. The salesman wakes up one day and realizes he's no longer a human, but a cockroach. And a cockroach is one that's like a parasite that lives off the leavings of others, the droppings of others, and basically takes and takes and takes and takes and just lives off what others leave behind. And it's a parasite. It's symbolic of something that's unclean, as he describes it. And if there's a great way to look at life, when you don't use and utilize your powers, you basically become like a cockroach. And then, and let me tell you, I looked at that, I read that, I'm like, wow, that's a powerful way to look at people's lives when they're not acting out of their greatest desires. And as William Blake says, energy is eternal delight, and he who desires but acts not breeds pestilence. Energy is eternal delight, and he who desires but acts not breeds pestilence, William Blake said. And I can't agree with that more. That literally can change your life if you continue to just repeat that and go really study that. I'm like, wow, energy is eternal delight, and he who desires, therefore desires but acts not. So if you want something and you don't act on it, you'll breed more pestilence. You'll breed more cynicism. You'll breed more, calamities in your life and catastrophes in your life in the form of depression or anxiety. And let me tell you something, emotions of depression and anxiety are often, and I experienced that. I've experienced that before, certain levels of depression, anxiety, and worry and fear. But as soon as you act, Ralph Waldo Emerson said this, what a new face courage puts on everything. When you act despite the fear and you act, all of a sudden the fear is gone. The depression dissipates. The creativity shows up when you act. Sometimes you don't know what to do, but you do it anyway. And you're like, I'm just going to do something, because just doing nothing and sitting at home and I don't act and I don't do anything, man, I'm tired of just sitting around. And the villains, by the way, the people in life that you perceive to be your enemies, the villains of your life, whether it be in the form of depression, an emotional behavior, an addiction, a mom or dad, a friend or a colleague or a boss, whatever those, they're part of the program of life. They're part of the deal. They're a part of the deal to help you grow. And just as Cam says, it's that last rep that hurts the most, where you gain the most. And I like this metaphor. I was thinking about this the other day, with the whole, I'm a big fan of comics, the DC comics and Marvel comics. I'm a big DC guy, Superman. I always thought I was fascinated with Superman. And I just thought to myself when I was, with the whole Marvel, they've made billions of dollars in Hollywood, 10 years of creating, connecting all the movies. But when I was reflecting on it with the new Avengers movies coming out, to basically the climax of this whole 10-year journey of releasing, 15 movies and connecting them all, I was reflecting on it. I said, wow, we are our own hero in our movie of life. We are the superhero in our movie. And I was reflecting on this as the hero's stories, the origin stories are explained and the villain is presented. The hero overcomes the villain. And in the second movie, is the villain in the second movie usually stronger and more formidable? And the answer is yes. That's life. That once we conquer one stage or one challenge, the next challenge, next villain is going to show up. And as that superhero gets stronger, he's able to overcome the next villain. And what he can't, or he or she cannot overcome, he then or she then teams up with other members and they form this thing called the Avengers. You go from dependency to independency to interdependency to teamwork. And the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts, which means this. Let me explain that for you a second. If two horses could pull, if one horse pulled 15,000 pounds and another horse pulled 20,000 pounds, and you put them together, naturally, logically, you'd go, well, together they can pull 15,000 plus 20,000 pounds. And wrong answer. No, it's not 15 plus 20,000. It's actually because they team up, they're able to pull 40 or 50,000 pounds. Because when it comes to putting two minds together, creative minds together, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 3. And then 3 + 3 = 50. Then 10 + 10 = millions. When you put creative minds together, man, creativity explodes. So on this journey of the Avengers movie, they come together. And as the Avengers come together, the team then brings out greater abilities of each of the teammates. So Captain America and Thor, they become stronger and wiser. Hulk, and the Iron Man. And there's always a lesson behind it. But they team up. And guess what? The final villain in the series, the climax of this whole storyline, is Thanos, this titan of a man, godlike, gets a hold of this infinity gauntlet and collects all these stones, and with the snap of his finger eliminates half of the universe, and the heroes are seemingly defeated. But that's life. Here's the thing. Would you go back to the movies if the next movie, if you were told the villain was going to be weaker than the previous villain? You wouldn't go see it. Like, I've already seen it. Why would I go see a villain when that villain was strong? No, you go see a villain. You go see a movie because you're going to be inspired because this hero is stepping up to the next challenge. And because of it, that's why they're called superheroes. But the truth of the matter is, and even what's his name? The guy that started Avengers, what's his name? Stan Lee. He even says the people that are the real superheroes are living superhero lives. Really, and again, I just read this. I watched that movie, Into the Spider-Verse, and at the end, it had a quote by Stan Lee. He goes, "We're all superheroes. Those who choose to make a difference in the world are superheroes that choose to act." And that's what I got from that. Is the people that are choosing to act despite the fear, despite the depression, despite the anxiety, despite the overwhelm, whatever it might be. Now, again, let me just reinforce this. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but guess what? The harder you are on yourself, the easier life gets on you. That is an absolute truth. I've understood that. And it doesn't mean that, it's like this. You lift weights to, let's say you can only lift 50 pounds over your head, and you train, your whole goal is to lift 100 pounds over your head. And then you train, you 50, and then 55, then 60. Now, once you're able to lift 100 pounds, the 50 pounds that used to be hard, you go back and lift the 50, that becomes easy. So you've outgrown the previous problems. You get what I'm saying? That goes for mental strength, that goes for emotional strength, and spiritual strength and growth and expansion. So whatever it is that you have to do the thing and you will have the power. Man, I can tell you, I meditated on that the other day and I was going, wow, what's the thing that I need to do? What's the next stage where I needed to do a thing and step in and take a leap of faith and sort of upgrade my life? Because that's what I want to do. I'm continually upgrading myself and continuing appreciating. I want to elevate my life so I can elevate and have greater impact and articulate my message with greater depth and greater focus for the people out there. And the person you're hearing right now isn't a result of luck. It's a result of someone that's hungry, that's studied, the person that's failed, but got up and learned and earned and returned with this whole idea that I'm here, whatever shows up in my life, I'm here to transform whatever that shows up in my life and have it so that it elevates my life and not brings me down and keeps me down. If gravity were natural and we weren't supposed to fight gravity, then all of us should just be laying down right now on the floor and just be like, all right, gravity's too hard to overcome. Right. So anyway, I get on tangents here, but the point is, whatever, I want you to think about this, whatever that thing you're supposed to do, whatever that thing is, it could be anything. I don't care what it is. Do it. And you will have the power. The creativity is going to show up. The right circumstances are going to show up. And people that call people lucky who have taken action, who are successful in whatever area of life, luck, as they say, is when preparedness meets opportunity. Preparedness takes action. You've got to prepare with your mind, your heart, your soul, and go, whatever that thing is. Okay, so I encourage you to do that. Any thoughts there, Cam, as I wrap this up?
Yeah, I just want to say that as you were talking, I was just thinking, and the truth of the matter is, I think everybody deep down knows what that thing is. Especially if it's something uncomfortable. They obviously know what it is, but they don't give it any second thought. So I would kind of encourage people to trace back their steps mentally and emotionally back to the things that they decided once and for all. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Definitely not. Because for me, it's like I definitely would have been like, well, Anthony, I don't know what that thing is, but yes, I do.
That's mature. No, the truth is everybody. Okay, honestly, for the people that are depressed out there, that are severely depressed out there, it's hard to know what to do when you're in that state. It's hard. Just don't get me wrong. But you've got to get to a point where, like, I got to a point where I was so sick and tired of feeling like a loser. Like, I was sick and tired of losing. I was sick and tired of feeling like I was kicking myself down. I was really to that point where that's it. And I just got up and started working out. I just started doing something, reading books. I don't care. I just had to keep my mind busy. And then as I did that thing, I gained momentum. The creativity showed up. And when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that goes for the opposite is true. When the teacher is ready, the student will appear. So if you're a teacher of great wisdom, like I wish to be, and I wish that I'm living out my life, I'm also an eternal beginner, an eternal student at the same time. Man, the teachers that I needed in my life that showed up, they showed up right on time because I was ready, because I took that action. And again, if you don't know what that action is, like, I think you do, as Cam said. And if you do know what that action is, just go do it. If it means quitting a job that you know is not best for you, but you're scared the heck because you're not sure if you're going to get. Yeah, I get it. The fear is going to show up. Maybe perhaps it's not quitting your job. The intelligent thing is not to quit your job right away and be rash about it. But maybe from 5 to 9 when you're home, it's still searching for a job that does fulfill you and writing down the things that, writing down maybe perhaps the perfect job that you want or something. But the point is, it's going to take courage. And as I heard one guy say, intelligence without courage is as static as courage without intelligence is rash. So you got to have both. If a lot of people think, I'm just going to take a courageous step and just do it without thinking. And they quit their job and they have 5 kids at home and their wife is not working. Yeah, maybe you didn't think that out a bit, but perhaps that is the catapult for him to kind of go, you know what? I have to find something right away because I actually know someone that actually did that, but then they ended up finding something great because they had 3 kids and his wife wasn't working at the time. She was stay-at-home mom, but he ended up quitting But he knew at a fundamental level, he needed to find something right away so he could support his family. And maybe it would be, but maybe it takes some mentorship. Maybe it takes someone to kind of give you a push in the right direction, a coach or a mentor or something like that. But you're right. Anyways, I interrupt you, Cam. Any extra as you were?
No, sorry, my mic wasn't working there.
That's okay.
No, that's great. I think, I encourage people to just do that search if they don't know what that thing, or if they can't find it right now, because it's inside, definitely. And I would also encourage people to realize that they're smarter than they give themselves credit. Like, we are no smarter than anybody else. Everybody has a knowing of their own life that we will never understand. Yeah. They have experienced their perspective for however old they are, and it's that right there is unbelievable wisdom alone. Just having experienced 20 years as you, or 40 years as you. You know yourself. Don't act like, you know what I mean? A lot of people put themselves down, and so that's the only thing I wanted to say.
Good. Well, again, so the theme of this is do the thing. If you've hesitated too long, stop hesitating and take that action. Go. Well, I don't care what it is. I don't care, because it's very unlikely you're going to bump into what you were meant to do by sitting at home and doing nothing. But you'll increase the chances, the probability of bumping into that thing if you should put yourself out there. If it means asking that girl out you've been, or that guy out that you're afraid to ask out, or whatever it is, just go do it. Like, Alfred Hitchcock said, he goes, there's no fear in the bang, only in the anticipation of once you do it, it's gone. The fear's gone. Right. And anyway, so that we'll wrap this up. But anyways, if you love this podcast, continue to support us, and I will continue to support you by making comments, or asking questions, and joining in on the conversation, and subscribing to our link on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify or whatever, on Instagram, and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions or to serve you as best I can, because I'm here to do that through this podcast. So to your continued upgrade and evolution, live it up with power, purpose, and passion. Take that action. Live it up. Go now. Go. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. God bless.